Hello, I'm Natalie. Welcome to this episode of Sovereign Spirituality. Today I have Christina Hladnik with me from Inner Haven Art Gallery and Petals of Consciousness. I met Christina. We met how long ago? Mm, um, mm,
Um, Maybe 6, 7 months
yeah,
ago,
probably.
but it feels like years.
And yes, it really does. It's kind of like, oh, there you are. That's how I experience people, and and that I'm supposed to meet and cross paths with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Before I started recording, we were talking about. I'm just gonna jump right into what was it? Oh, I completely forgot. Um, oh my God, I'm brain farting. I'm so brain farting on what are the things like what we were talking about. Okay, well, I actually asked you on here. This is where I'm gonna go with it. Well, that will come back to me. Um, to ask you questions about your spiritual journey, how you found what you are doing. Like, so we were introduced. I was told to come to you through uh, Crystal Loom
Mm-hmm.
because you sell my jewelry out of Inner Haven, which is a beautiful, beautiful. Like it's a sanctuary. It's a hub, is what I think of it as any new person that I meet on their spiritual journey, I'm there with them the next week. Like, hey, here's this metaphysical development group. Like, enjoy, and it's been so helpful and so validating for me in growing my abilities and things like that. Um, it's really like you guys have done it so well, and there's no other place like that does those things. Like, it just feels it's a sanctuary, really, like for
Oh, thank
like-minded
you.
individuals to grow and learn and talk and have a safe space. And that's just one little aspect of what it is that you do, because it is an art gallery. You give people the opportunity to sell their art, and
Yes.
you yourself are an artist.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with that.
Okay.
I believe. Oh, okay. See, I knew it would come back to me. It was that we have been in the same space several times over the last 6 or 7 months that we've like known each other, but this is our first time actually like really sitting down together and talking
Yes.
and chatting, and not just being in a group setting and knowing, okay, this is what I do, this is what you do, okay, you have beautiful energy, like, and I have to say, like, I don't want to use the word intimidating, but like there is something like about you that is all like, oh, like for me it's she sees me, oh shit, what does she see, like, but all like it's weird, like I can be in your vicinity and I feel like when I'm okay, I know like I know who I am and I know how I can mask that enough around other people, and then there's certain people that I can see through that, and it's kind of like it gets me, for lack of words, it's like my vibration goes like this while I'm in your vicinity, your vibration. um I don't want to use the word intense either, but have you ever been called intense before?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
When I was younger, like before the whole spiritual journey, I heard a lot of like, oh, like when I became friends with someone afterwards, I would hear like, oh, I thought you were like kind of, the B word,
Oh.
like because I have a very intense face.
Hmm.
I'm an internal thinker a lot, so the energy, I guess, that I admit sometimes can be intense, and I've been told like it comes across intimidating.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I promise you, it's all internal, my
Yeah.
own.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I don't want to use either one of those words because I feel like they can have a negative connotation. I myself have been called intimidating and intense too, and I was like, I'm just me,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
and then it comes like the whole saying is she intimidating or are you intimidated by her? Right? Have you ever heard that one before? But
Mm-hmm.
like, it's just like there's um and so a bigger energy, like there's just a presence about your energy, I think, is the actual correct way to say it. It's not
Yeah.
that, like, it's not intense, it's just, oh, like you are an energy, you are and not a personality, like there is just a being versus just people come and go. I don't know if that sounds right, the good, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
um so like I find that, like, oh, like I feel that way about myself too. So when two of these like energies are in the same room, it's like, okay, like I have to recalibrate, and keep what's mine, and like that's, as
Yes.
somebody that's energy sensitive. So I am so like one of the things I said when I had asked to have you on here is I'm so interested what our energies are going to be like in the same room, just the two of us, like how it's
I feel
going to mix.
vibrating.
Yes, yes. In my hands, especially,
Yeah,
yeah,
me too.
yeah. I love it, and so like it's just kind of like aha, they're happy.
Yes, I got a lot of
Yes.
confirmation on the way here with like license plates and signs. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. That's good. Yes, I love that. I love that. Okay, so to get down to that was the one thing I wanted to come back to, but I'm gonna ask about your spiritual journey. That was one of the things I said I was gonna ask is your spiritual journey, your spiritual awakening, and you kind of said to me that it started in 2018ish. When I was thinking the same, like I started my healing journey in like 2018, but my spiritual awakening, like the holy shit, this is happening one, was probably 2021 for me. And there's I'm noticing now that there's a difference between like the healing versus like
Oh yeah.
the awakening. So,
Yeah.
where does your story begin?
It started in 2008.
Yes, okay, that's right. 2008,
Which,
you said.
my journey has been this very long, drawn out process. And like you said, there's a huge difference between like the healing and then like, all the fun, like, oh, what are chakras and all like that fun stuff. Then then all of a sudden, oh, there's all this trauma and shadow work, and the shadow work aspect didn't really hit hard until 2019. So I was doing all of the spiritual things for a very long time, but there was always this like something like this missing piece of like, okay, there's a lot of spiritual bypassing happening on my part. So I didn't know that, at the time. But to me, it's been this just gentle unfolding over, almost 20 years. It's like 17 years, but gentle unfolding of just remembering who I truly am, and all of these things happening to essentially get my attention to wake me up. Like, this is who you are. This is who you are. And the more I ignore it, the louder it got. So it finally came to a head in like 2019. Just dealing with a lot of like mental health issues, and like couldn't leave the house, was not taking care of myself. Just, the internal dialogue was so loud, the programming was so loud.
Yes.
That was overriding all of the spiritual stuff. So, and I've been certified in reconnective healing for 7 years, and so that after I got certified in that, there was another shift that was like, okay, if you're gonna do this work, like you're gonna have to go deeper, and that's like when all the shadow stuff came to head, and inner child healing.
Those are fun.
Yes.
I want to stop you there and ask you about reconnective healing, because a couple weeks ago, like I got in touch and I was talking about Reiki and how we can, like an energy healing, and you said that you are certified in reconnective healing. What, in your words, is that specifically?
Oh, it's such a beautiful frequency. I was drawn to it because I'm not someone that likes to follow rules or like be told what to do, or I get too in my head about it. Like, so with Reiki, there was a lot of like, do it this way, that way, remove energy that way, and to me that felt very overwhelming, and like I don't want to mess it up. Scared of like not being perfect. So reconnective healing just felt like this gentle invitation into energy work. So to me, I would describe it as just being playful with the frequency. It's me remembering the frequency, tapping into it essentially, and then just inviting you to notice it as well. It is something that, and I also love the fact that there's like a scientific background to it. I'm not like, that's not my background at all, but just, for the purpose of explaining it, it feels good to explain it from a scientific perspective. So when we're all conceived, essentially a burst of light happens. They've studied that under a microscope. So when they're studying someone who is receiving reconnective healing, essentially they're noticing under a microscope that there are bursts of light happening in your cells. So it's basically putting more light into your cells and into your DNA, and it's essentially just a remembering of who you truly are. It's like wiping away anything that's in the way at that moment in time. And it's just a gentle invitation to remember who you truly are.
I love that. And I love even like the way that it works with light, right? And that goes to the last thing you said is like the shadow aspects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the way I look at it is like the light and the dark, light and shadow, right? And the shadow is the programs that we were picked up over the years, or, like the self limiting beliefs that were passed down from generation, and all of the, like the areas that have the lack of light.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because we are all light beings,
Yeah.
or so I believe. And that's, where that's why I find it significant. Shadow work, right? There are aspects of self that we also deny. Like I want to, for me specifically, has always been. Do I want to say that? I mean, like, I don't want to say that, but I'm going to because I have to. Okay, like jealousy, but not in like the. I hate that. I hate to see that's even like I'm like like no, I'm not jealous, but not in like I want what they have ways. It's so interesting. Like that one is like, well, no, like I'm not jealous because it doesn't appear as like typical jealousy appears. So this is something that I constantly have to work through because like I deny that because it's not typical of like, well, I'm jealous because they have this. And it's because it's like, I don't want what you have. I want my version of that. So it's so like it's almost it's like a tricky to even work with because like I'm denying that it is like when it comes down to it like it is jealousy, and it's what you do with it, right? And then whole like also like shadow is like just accepting that is part of it, and that's okay, and it's really what you choose to do with it, like if it's going to make me a worse person by my actions, like I don't want to do that, but that's not who I am. So like I know that and just go through it, but even the thought of having to feel it and not deny it is shadow work, right? Like, and then I think it's so interesting. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
Oh, you're fine.
I saw a TikTok that you had done, or like a reel that you had made, talking about spiritual bypassing, and since you had said that too, like, I remember very specifically that there was, I think it was jealousy that came up. Yeah, of course it was, because I'm keep talking about it. Where I was like, I don't know what to do with this. And I was like, say it was just like I heard save it for later. And that was okay. Like that, to me wasn't spiritual bypassing until realizing it through, like watching something that you have said and something that you've done and be like, oh, I can see that. Yeah. Like, yeah, I totally was like, no, I don't want to deal with it. Save it for later. And it was like an issue. I was like, like, swipe left on that one. We're not feeling that one today, So I find that so interesting in, even when like as somebody like I consider myself very self-aware and very in touch with like the spirit, like spiritual aspects of, and I can find myself spiritual bypassing without realizing or trying to, but it always comes back around, like you got to deal with it anyways. It does, like it is saving it for later. It's not giving it anywhere else as what I had hoped for back then. But
spiritual bypassing to me is, at least in my experience, was very much just like, okay, if we just, it's all love and light, all love and light, all love and light, and forgetting about the human experience. And like, yes, I truly believe that we are souls here to have a human experience. We're not here to ascend the human experience. We're here to integrate into the human experience. So having feelings of jealousy, anger, rage, like all of those used to be like, oh, no, I can't feel that. Like that's low vibe. That's, I can't, absolutely not. And what I've discovered over the years is the more I embrace my humanness and the more I love my humanness and the more light I bring to my humanness and talk to my internal dialogue as if I'm talking to an innocent child of just like, it's okay to feel anger. It's like what you said, it's what you do with it. So we as humans all have jealousy, all have like horrible thoughts about, that we would never say out loud. But I truly believe it's like what you do with that energy, which determines like if you're a good person or not. I don't know if that's like not a good person or not, but just
I know
what you do with it.
Right. It's so I say, because everything is like, well, it's not inherently good or inherently bad. Like there is none, but it is who I am and who I want to be is kind of where I go with that, because like it's not good versus evil and all that. Like it's when reacting to something or responding to something, it's like, that's not who I want to be. That's not who I am. Like, yes, I can choose to be mean, be bitter, and do like say these nasty things that I'm thinking, but
I love that you said that. I always say that to my husband because I'm like, I could choose to do it this way, but I'm going to show up as me because that's not who I am.
Yes, and like when triggered, and I have to be like, oh, she like no, I'm going to. This is who I am, and this is who I want to be. Like, yes, there is that, but it's the choice, right? And it's I say, I always used to say like healed versus unhealed, right? Well, unhealed me would cut a bitch, like not really, but like, and healed me would be like, okay, I'm just gonna let that go, or because I did get caught in the whole, oh no, I'm just loving light, and like like, and then there was a lot of like dark night of the soul that I had to get through. Is like when we talk about ascending, right? And I've also had this experience with like not like transcending the human experience, like did that and decided I wanted to be human. But I have to remind myself, like, I want to be human. This is part of the human experience. When there are things
signed up for.
Like when there are things that are dense and hard to like, it's like, no, I came here, like I chose to be here, I chose this for a reason, because like I would always like, it's just so all inclusive of all of the feelings, and it's just, it's whole beautiful, like even in like the grit and the ugly parts is so beautiful. When you actually like can like I always say, like when I'm moving through it, like once I'm on the other side of it, I just see the beauty in all of the pain and all of the, and like in the lesson. But I move through those things very much a human, and that sucks sometimes, like, and it's that, but it's like, it's always worth it. And that is so easy for me to just like say to other people, and then I'm going through it and I'm like crying because of this, or like raging because of this, and it's like, oh, like this isn't easy. And then I guess then would be the jealousy again coming up for like, the why is it easier for others and not for me, like, yeah, I'm gonna, like, I have a question. Like, do you, I don't know if I want to ask that and like actually here. Yeah, and
now I'm like, ooh,
curious. Like your experience. Like, do you know what you signed up for?
Yes, I did. A lot of my memories started coming back about what I signed up for when in 2019, when I started doing, I kind of like left the spirituality behind to do trauma therapy and do EMDR therapy, and I had a lot of memories come flooding back to me. So I had a memory come back to me of when I was 3 years old, and Mother Mary visited me and told me, like, look, you're going to think I've left you. You're going to think that I've abandoned you. You're going to feel as if, God, the universe is like, you're alone in this world. But I promise you that this is, what you've signed up for, and that you're not alone. It's going to feel like that. And, there was a ton of trauma during my childhood, a lot of sexual trauma, emotional, physical, you name it. And not until 2000, it was right before my youngest, I got pregnant with my youngest because I had a dream. That's a whole other story. But I had a dream in 2000, I think it's 2014, early 2014, of Archangel Raphael coming to me. And, I grew up Catholic, so I know about archangels and stuff, but I didn't know, like, details, the Michael with the sword and all that stuff. Like, that was the extent of my knowledge about angels. And so I didn't realize it, but in the dream, Archangel Raphael came to me. He had a golden staff. I was laying in bed, and he just, like, tapped me on the back with it, and, like, the entire room filled with golden light. And then next thing I know, he's in a tree, and we're like in this deserty land. I'm not sure why he was up in a tree. And I'm like, what are we doing here? And he, all of a sudden, this like list falls out of his hand, and it's like a scroll, and it kind of looks like something you would see in a cartoon of like a Santa Claus list, where you can't see the names, but they're written there. Like looks like scribbles. I'm like, what is this? He's like, these are all the people you're meant to help in this lifetime. And I was like, I don't know how to find them. Like, what do you mean? I can't even read the names. I can't even make them out. And he's like, you don't need to worry about finding them. They're going to find you. You just need to step into your power and own it. And then, like, ever since that moment, Mother Mary has come back to me. And, like, it's been this beautiful, again, remembering of, I don't have to do anything, get more certificates, be anything. I just need to show up in my authenticity
Yeah.
and love people exactly where they're at and for who they are, and forgive as much as humanly possible. And that's like, yeah, I know my purpose is to, like, a huge part of my purpose is forgiveness.
Yeah.
That's been, I feel like, have you ever read the book Little Soul in the Sun? It's a children's book by Neil Donald Walsh.
No.
It's like he wrote Conversations with God. It's like this huge 3-series book that was so enlightening for me early in my journey. It was the first time I realized I wasn't going to hell.
Okay.
In my early 20s, when I read that, I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to hell. So beautiful. But in the children's book, essentially, he talks about all these souls, you know, up in the ethers, heaven, wherever, with God. And they're all lights, all beings of light.
Yeah.
And the lights are like, oh, I'm going to, you know, I want to be a human. In this experience, I want to sign up for this. I want to experience this. And a soul steps forward. It's like, I want to experience forgiveness.
Yeah.
And then this always makes me get teary. This other soul comes up and it's like, I volunteer to be the one to, you know, that you're going to have to forgive.
Yeah.
But please do me a favor and don't forget who I truly am.
Yeah.
Because the more I forget who I am, the deeper I will go into the darkness. And if you forget who I am,
I'm going to cry.
if you forget who I am, you know, it just perpetuates the darkness. Yeah. So I feel like through all the trauma I've been through, I don't look at it as like, oh, I'm so traumatized, and I don't wear it as like I'm a survivor, any of that. Like, that has never resonated with me, ever. I see it as all these beautiful people that came into my life as part of my journey and remembering who I truly am. And like, when I tell people that, oh, I've forgiven them, like when I tell people like what has happened to me, they're like,
yeah,
oh, you're bypassing, you're doing this. I'm like, no, it's taken, you know, years and years of work to get to where I am.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it happened and I'm like, oh, you're forgiven. It's like,
right.
I'm not a doormat. I don't let people walk all over me. I don't want to hang out with them, but
right.
I can forgive them.
Yes.
So I definitely think that's my purpose, which leads into like the You Are Loved cards that I have. That was given to me in a meditation when my oldest was starting kindergarten. I'm not sure what that point has anything to do with anything, but it was an emotional time for me. And during a meditation, I was told, like, you're to make these cards. This is what they are going to say. You're going to make them like black and white, not colorful, because I was making like little rounds that said you are loved or you're enough, and like leaving them in different places.
Yeah.
Or you know, they're really colorful and bright, and it was very specific. Make it black and white so it appeals to everyone. Don't put any symbology on there. So no spiritual symbology whatsoever, because the point of them is they speak to everyone.
Right.
So it doesn't matter your political belief, your religious beliefs, like no matter the background, the cards are supposed to be for everyone and speak to anyone that finds them. So that is a huge part of my purpose, to spread the message that we are all love, no matter what we have done in this lifetime, no matter what we've been through. We are not defined essentially by our worst moments. And I truly, truly, wholeheartedly believe that if this world, if we all knew how loved we are just for simply existing, and that people got to experience and know that love, this world would change instantly, because all the trauma and the shit we see going on in the world is perpetuating a projection of self-hate.
Yes.
So there's many people out there that don't know what love feels like. We're not brought up in homes that that was something they ever felt, got to know. And so the pain that was inflicted on them is then projected outwards, and it's just this perpetual cycle. So I truly believe, like, I have a huge idea and mission with the You Are Loved cards. Like, I've always wanted to literally go into people that are in jail. Like, I'm talking like the worst of the worst of the worst people, and like look them directly in the eye and tell them how much I love them and how much they are loved. And that, like, it always brings me to tears, because I truly believe we've each played the villain. We've each played the perpetrator. we've each played the victim, and
Yes.
that is part of the remembering that, you know, in this lifetime, maybe that guy over there is being an asshole, and but you know, maybe last time you were the asshole.
Right.
Like,
Yes. 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 That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And I absolutely, I've had this conversation with my son actually, like in a way, he's 17, like in a 17-year-old way, but like karma, you know what I mean? Like maybe like whoever was like really shitty in one lifetime, I feel like is going to come back and experience the other, like the
yeah,
other side of that in another
the
lifetime. That
contrast.
is
Yeah.
just, that is like, and I've witnessed that like in my life, like I feel I always say that I've lived many lifetimes within this lifetime,
Oh yeah, me
and
too.
I see right, you know, like when I'm like, okay, so I learned lesson, and I see anytime I say something or like how karma has come to play, and like, and that is very much where it's like, and I zoom out, okay, here, and we're going back this way. That's how it's always shown to me, like to have the well-rounded, and like I know I've said that before, like this experience of seeing it, and like there is always that. So like if you like the same when you say the whole like some you're a villain in somebody's story, you know,
Oh
like
yeah,
no
yeah.
matter what you do, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be somebody. And I had to, I had that conversation actually a couple weeks ago when I was talking about who am I, you know, like in a very like, well, who do I want to be and who am I, and like I don't care if I'm the villain in somebody's story, because like I have villains who don't think that they were a villain, you know,
Yeah.
like so it is just we come here to like the way that I try to explain it to people is we come here to learn things, right? Like you forgiveness, which is a oh that's an interesting one. Like, but
Yeah,
you
there's
really
been
are.
times I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
can we skip this? Like,
Yeah.
I'm done. Like, the
That's
lessons of forgiveness keep coming over and over and over and over and
yeah.
over and over and
That's
over and
that's a hard
over.
one. That's no.
Yeah, it's fun. It's gotten a lot easier and a less intense over the years. So,
Yeah.
like, the level of thing I have to forgive has gotten less intense
Yes.
and less
I
intense
almost
and less
wonder if it's
intense.
because it's not about you having to forgive, but the other person having to experience forgiveness.
Yeah,
You know?
I think it goes both
Like
ways.
to like you like so it's less intense because like you've learned that and you know how to embody that, but there are some people that don't know like get forgiveness,
Yeah.
so you might be the only person that allows them that forgiveness and to know what that's like, holy shit, like that's possible, like, and then if somebody can forgive me, then I can forgive others, and that's how it trickles
Yeah.
down the line, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly the vision. Because, like,
Yeah.
if we have that self love, and like the Your Love cards is all about loving ourselves, because if we truly love ourselves, we would never, ever hurt another human being.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yes. Yeah.
Ever. Like, I
Yeah.
truly believe that.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
getting to experience forgiving ourselves first and foremost, and talking to ourselves with love and compassion and grace. Because if we're able to give that to ourselves, it is so much easier to give that to other people.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe the people, places, situations that show up in our life are a reflection of what we are learning or what we're working on in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, I see it as a, like, trust me, I'm talking all like enlightened and like, this is very human. My initial reaction to things is harsh and over the top and like, oh my God, like, I can't believe they did this and that. And then, you know, within like 48 hours, I can reel it in. I don't act on any of those things. I allow the humanness to be there and to honor that. And like, okay, I see you. You're pissed. You're, you know, whatever. It does feel unfair. You know, like you would a child. Like, yes, this does feel unfair.
Yeah.
Validate all the feelings. But also, we're not going to act on them. And then try to see it from a deeper perspective. But I feel like there's this almost assumption, like, you know, because I'm very visible on social media and stuff like that, that I've got it all figured out and that like I'm rainbows and sunshine 24/7, and I'm definitely not. You can ask my husband and my mom.
Well, I think that the rainbows and sunshine is like the first part of the awakening, and then you get into like the real things, right? Like it's like, oh, okay, like we can choose, like, and that's where I say when I started my healing journey, it was almost just rainbows and sunshines. Like I finally feel good because I like this weight of all of these things. Like I can choose to forgive and I can choose again, and you know, like, and then it gets down to, oh, like, okay, well, you nailed that. Now we're doing some real work, you know, like, and that's when like the awakening happened, and like I mean the Kundalini awakening, like the psychic downloads, and like I like put myself in the hospital because what the heck is happening to me? Like that was my spiritual awakening too. Then like I kind of want to get into talking about your gifts, right? Like so
Okay.
like your spiritual gifts and what it is that you do. Like we I always say like it's still worth it like to go through all of the lessons because at the end like there's an upgrade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like so when you find like when you see it then you have an upgrade and then it's the ways of like the spiritual gifts that you get. Like for me it is intuitive insight. I know like I can help people because I go through these things so I can help people
Exactly.
that need, like the need the wisdom or whatever it is that I, like and I did sign up for wisdom this time around and lots of other like less fun things. But like so what have you found in that? Like so you like this dream which is a beautiful dream with Raphael, right? Like that's so
Mhm.
beautiful. I
Yeah,
love
I
that.
remember it like it was yesterday, and
Yeah.
it was literally like 11 years ago.
Yeah,
So,
that's so beautiful. And that's just like that is to me, those are your gifts, right? That's where you get to use your gifts and all of these people. What other gifts would you define? Or I guess, would you
um,
define as a gift and how do you use it?
since I was little, I feel like I've always been extremely empathic and super intuitive. Like, I could read a room like instantaneously and
Yes.
know that person is dealing with that. Like, it's almost like I can glance at like a stranger, like just walking down the street, and I instantaneously know what they're going through.
Yeah.
I get just like a download of like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
they're going through, a fight with their mom. They're going through a fight with their husband. They just lost someone. So grocery shopping is super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be like, focus, like, let's get the grocery shopping done. But it's been like that since I was little. I think when I was 7 or 8, I remember asking my mom, we were in a car, and I looked over at the guy, we're sitting at a light, and I looked at her and I'm like, is that guy there because
Mm.
I am noticing that he's there, or is he just like, yeah, I don't even know the question. It was just like, is he there just because I'm perceiving him? I didn't use the word perceiving as a
Right.
9-year-old or 8-year-old. But am I perceiving that he's there, and he's there because I'm perceiving him, or? And she was just like, oh my god, like, so I've always been that, and I shut it down for a very long
Yeah.
time, through the trauma, and then dealing with the trauma through, drinking, drugs, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd say I started embracing my gifts again when my children came along. So I've always been an intuitive painter. That's something that
Mm-hmm.
my mom, thank God for her, because I was, again, very traumatic childhood, very emotional child, very big feelings all the time. And it was kind of like, I don't know what to do with this and you. So, like, here's some paints and go paint your feelings. So, a lot of the paintings I do sessions with clients where I am channeling and painting at the same time. That's one of my favorite things to do. The information just like drops
Yeah.
in. I get visual downloads, feelings. Um, I have a lot of prophetic dreams. I've and going back to the painting, when I was in high school, yeah, I think it happened when I was in high school. I was about 6 months before like 9/11 happened. I made a whole painting of like that scene. And
Mm-hmm.
so when it happened, I was like, what the, and I threw the painting. I was so freaked
Oh
out by the
yeah.
whole thing. I was like, and really angry, like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of information on world events, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this information? Like, I'm just me. Like, what am I supposed to
Mm-hmm.
do? But have found through the years that I'm not supposed to do anything. My job is to anchor the light. When everyone else is freaking out around you,
Yeah.
the world is falling apart, your job is to anchor the light
Mm-hmm.
and hold that frequency no matter how hard it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the other gifts I think I have are just, I have an ability to know what people need to hear.
Yeah.
And I've always, people will be like, how did you know I needed to hear it? Like, I'll just get a random text, and like, I don't know. It's just, you had to hear this
Yeah.
today, and I don't know why. But I have, I've seen people in front of my face, and that's why the other week at metaphysical group, I was like, I want to see dead people again.
Oh yeah.
Because I shut it down.
Yeah.
When we first moved into our house, it's a house that was built in 1890, so there's a lot of history there.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back room, a lady in like almost blue appeared like this close to my face, and I was like, absolutely not. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Nope, no. And I shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like my part of my purpose and my gifts is just to remind other people that that healing is possible.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, that there is, when I really get down to it, and this kind of almost sounds weird, but that there is no need for healing. It's remembering that you were never broken.
Yeah, I love that.
And that, it's fixing the nervous system.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And supporting the nervous system, but essentially that like we are not broken.
Yeah.
And that we are whole and complete, even when things are falling apart, even when shit is hitting the fan and your life is falling apart in whatever way it is. But part of my gifts with the art and then the intuitive abilities is probably one of my favorite things. Channeling that. Those kinds of sessions are extremely intuitive, and I was trained, I got a bachelor's degree in art, so I am trained in art, but I had to like let all of that go in order to get back to the intuitive painting and not worry about like the composition and all of, light and dark and all that stuff. So it's a challenge for me, like the artistic side of like, you have to do it correctly. That's why I love these sessions, because it brings me out of that. It's, you only have a certain amount of time, and everything I do is intuitive. I'm not thinking about, what color should I put where. I hear in my head, pick that brush up, do that, say that to this person. And half the time the stuff coming out of my mouth, I'm like, I don't even understand any of it. And it just comes out, and that person is just like, what? How did you know that? And I'm saying obscure things like that make zero sense to me, but to them it makes sense.
I remember one of my first experiences when I realized what was happening, like, because I was just doing it, like, for you, like, I'm as a massage therapist, like, I'm like, I don't know, like, I'm just doing whatever, and then, like, my client would start talking to me, and I would just start, like, saying all of these things, and just say, like, and then I, like, the client would leave and be like, I need to, like, take a bath, and, like, I'm better for all of this information. And I remember going to my therapist and talking to her and being like, it's not me. Like, it's not me that's saying it. Like, I'm just channeling information, but whatever this is like, it's not me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a channel. I get it. Okay. Like, this is the thing, like, I get, and I just work, and it's allowing that. And that is my favorite. That's like one of the next question I want to ask is, like, I find there's so much joy. There is so much. And I feel like when I am, like, in my purpose is when I am just flowing in my massage, and, like, it's just, like, either whether if it's a silent massage and it's just an energy exchange, and they're, like, nervous system, and, like, all of these, like, it's just they're getting their reset that they need energetically, or, like, the words are coming, and I'm like, saying these things that they need to hear, and, like, that is when I just feel like, oh, like, that is the pure gold that is doing, like, and that is when I'm most satisfied with. And, like, and I always tie it to, like, sometimes, like, I get ungrateful about things, like, where I'm like, well, why did I have to go through all this? And I'm like, there's my inner teenager is a big brat. And she's like,
mine's mean.
No.
Mine's so mean.
Mine likes to throw tantrums. Like, why isn't this happening? Like, on my timetable. And, like, so but then it was like I get ungrateful in those moments, and then I come back to, but, like, this, I go through all of those things because to be able to do the things that I do, and, like, and I'm always like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, I will just cry tears of gratitude in my car, just saying thank you for being able to do what I do, because I love it so much. At the end of the day, like, if I could just always remember that, and, like, shut the teenager up, sometimes, like, you can have your, okay, you can have your say, like, that. I guess she's, okay, we're just gonna go with that. But, like, what is it though that moment for you? Like, is it the painting? Like when you're the happiest, when it's like all this is it.
I there are a couple of things are coming to mind. It's one-on-one with anyone, whether it's a client, a friend, it doesn't matter. And like that channeling is happening and it's like beyond my humanness. I don't I never try to name. I've been asked a lot like, are you channeling the Akashic records? Are you did it? And I'm like, I don't know and I don't care to find out.
That.
And like I don't know, like I don't, for a long time I wouldn't even admit that that's what I was doing because I felt like I needed to have, I'm channeling so and so and it's coming from this, like it's not good enough just coming out of my mouth as it is.
I've asked because I wonder too, you know, like I was like, well, who, and like the response is it doesn't matter.
Yeah, me too.
Like it's just, it doesn't matter. And like to me it's like I know it's a divine, you know, like and I have my things in place, like okay, if only if you serve love, you know, like there's very specific energies that I work with for these, like most of the angels. That's why I love when you told me that story. I love it so much. Like, and in ways in which I feel safe, but like the answer is it doesn't matter. Yeah. You know, like, and that's why I just say it's for your highest good, or you know, like it's your higher self. It's for your, it's whatever's going to be for your highest and best, and that is what I can assure you. Yeah. But other than who, like, that's not my thing.
People want to know my, sorry, that's not my department.
Yeah, like
I don't do the hows and the whens and the wheres.
Yeah,
and
they literally just get it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, you know.
Like, I always start off a session saying like I'm only doing like tapping in for the highest good of you and the highest good of me and nothing else. And I don't also like predicting the future because I truly believe like maybe years and years and years ago before we have gotten to this time, I feel like there's so many different timelines merging all at once and so many to choose from. So I don't predict a future for anyone because someone could walk out my door and take a left instead of a right, and what I predicted or whatever, I might just be tapping into one of 800 different possible timelines for them. But my greatest joy is exactly the same thing you said. It's remembering all the shit I've been through and how applicable it is to what I do now. Like I truly believe most people, including myself, just want to be seen and loved for exactly who we are, even if we're in the shit at that moment. Yes. And to have gone through so many of the things I've been through, it's easy for me to truly have empathy for the other person and see them fully and not just like, oh, that sucks, you know, let's do some energy work. Like I feel what they're feeling. I know, you know, I've had my own experience, they've had their own experience. It's not ever exactly the same, but there is this ability to relate to the human experience on so many different levels that I don't think I would have had I not had all the life experiences. But my greatest, if I could live in just the like one-on-one sessions with people, like I do intuitive healing, I do reconnective healing, I do the quantum bloom, which is like the channeled painting. So they get a painting and a channel. I also do eye gazing, which is super uncomfortable and intense, but it is so powerful. It's one of my favorite things to do because so many people don't look other people in the eyes. And I went through a whole phase where I was like obsessed with people's eyes and like asking them like, can I take macro shots of your eyes because they're like little universes. But those are my favorite, just to connect on a soul level with someone and see them in their rawness, in their humanness, and in their perfection, and like that. I could do that. Like if I could live in that space 24/7, I would just be floating on a freaking cloud. That and when I am in ceremony is, I feel like both of those situations, I feel like I'm 100,000,000% in my purpose. Like I feel it through every cell of my being. Anything that has to do with drumming, it always brings me to tears. Like when we're in Hawaii, like on a family trip and, you know, at a luau, which is, you know, not necessarily, I know for the culture it's very spiritual and stuff, but in that setting it's very, you know, not that. Yes. It's a bunch of tourists and they're, you know, gimmicky type. Yeah. But like the second the drumming started, I'm like sitting there crying and my husband's like, what? Like, I'm like, it's just this visceral past life, I don't know,
Yeah.
other timeline
Mm-hmm.
that just comes over me, and it's just like, that is my purpose. So there is many ceremonies that I do that involve drumming, and when I'm drumming over people, I just like, I feel like I'm in my purpose.
Yeah.
Like that's part of
That's awesome.
my roots somehow.
Yeah.
And it is my greatest honor to provide a safe and sacred space for others, and a sacred container for others, for them to just be themselves.
Yes.
Because so many people, like I said, just want to be seen and heard and validated for exactly who they are.
That is the key. That I feel like is the key to everything, really. Like I see you, and it's okay, and it's just giving people permission to be themselves and to feel the things. Like, how simple is that? It's okay to be you, and yet, like, that can be life altering for people. Like, because they've never been, like, given the permission to be themselves, and that's what I find myself a lot of doing. Like, it's okay. You have the permission to do what you want, like. Those, like, that is just the validating people in their experiences, and just the shared experiences of not the experience itself, but the emotional experience. And that is just so missing, really, in the human experience today. Everybody's so, like, blocked off and, like, lacks vulnerability. And that is that's what I love to be, like. I don't love to be vulnerable.
I
like,
love it.
Do you?
Yes.
Like,
it's so uncomfortable. Like, on the way here, I'm freaking out. Like, oh, like I have to be vulnerable. Yeah. But then when I'm in it, I'm just like, yes, give me more.
Yes. So, like, for me, it's situational, right? Like, there's very specific things that I'm like, oh, like, I love being vulnerable, and like, but it's interesting as I'm like I'm seeing a thing where it was like I used to be way more vulnerable and being able to do and then, like, traumas along the way, which I can correlate to, like, what you said earlier about, like, just the remembering, like, that who you are. And it was like, oh, like, the times where, like, I'm like, shadows were thrown at me, right? Or things like that were dimming my light that caused me to armor up versus letting, like, being that version of me and having to return. Because I've, like, said recently, like, I liked who I used to be better than who I, like, because of these, like, traumas that have caused me to be less vulnerable, to be more reactive instead of responsive, when it was like I had, like, it's just those things, and still needing to let those old storylines go, and remembering, like, well, one, you're safe now, and, like, that's the whole, like, the nervous system repatterning and like, you're not there anymore. It's an old storyline. It's who you were. And, like, even, like, I recently started going back to therapy because times are getting rough. But, like, it was just kind of like I was realizing that I was reacting versus responding, and, like, that's not who I want to be. But I'm so used to this this trigger. It's working through these things, and, like, having to give her all of the background. Like, here's the backstory, but all of this to say, none of that applies now. But that's all of those things happen to make me who I am today. Yeah. And that is kind of like all of the things we go through, these things to shape who we are. Like, I mean, I've been, like, at the control panel where I'm all like, okay, what do I want to experience this time around, and, like, moving the things, and it's like, okay, like, and then I remember the things that I asked for, like, when we're there doing it, and then I'm like, why did I do that? But, like, for the enrichment and just the fulfillment, see? Like, but when you're in it, you forget that, because so we're going back to the human thing, but, like,
the balances. Ooh.
Yes. There was something else that I kind of, like, I had wanted to say, and I don't remember now. I'm trying to think of what it was. It'll come back to me. The being who, like, the doing the things, I don't know. It's a complete blank. Now where I'm trying to decide where I want to go. Do you have any advice? What is some advice that you would give to anybody that's starting their journey?
Oh, my biggest advice would be to listen to your own inner knowing, which is, that might take some work to get there through layers. For me personally, it took a long time to get there because, you know, people pleasing and like not trusting my own, you know, knowing, and like seeking answers everywhere else. Like, okay, I need another reading, I need another card pull, I need another this, I need another that. Now those tools I use is just for fun. You know, it's like a confirmation kind of thing. But to really listen to your inner knowing, there in, you know, how I see things in the spiritual community, in the spiritual world, there are going to be so many people telling you, this is what you need to do, this is what you should be doing, this is how you need to navigate this. And people are gonna, you know, when you're really new on the journey, there's gonna be a ton of people that want to help you and have the best intentions, or there's other people that maybe don't have the best intentions and see you as very vulnerable and are gonna take advantage of that. Just discernment is a big one.
Yes.
And trusting that gut feeling, or however your nervous system signals to you. So advice would be learning how your nervous system signals to you, what is right for you and what is not good for you. So I feel like I would have saved about like 7 solid years on that if I would have listened to that gut feeling of like, no, don't do that. Because I got so hung up on like, this is the way you have to do things. This is the way the journey has to unfold. This is how, you know, I was comparing myself to other people's journey and like, how come they're farther along, or they're, you know, everything's just, you know, the people that have had like, well, one day I was this way and then the next day I had a spontaneous Kundalini awakening and everything was fine and like their life is wonderful. I'm like, did I sign up for the slow package? Like the slow unfolding of remembering instead of that like light bulb moment. So sometimes I'm like, oh, that sounds nice, but don't compare yourself to other people. Everyone's on their own journey and their own timeline for a reason. And there is a bigger picture, and to just be so gentle with the human aspects of yourself. Because a lot of the spiritual community can completely forget about the human experience. And it is fun to do all the spiritual things and to be meditating and live in the ethers. I spent a lot of time there. That's my favorite place to be.
Yes, yes.
But to also know that, you know, that doesn't, if you're having a bad week, a bad day, a bad month, a bad year, and things are going to shit left and right, and you are like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Sorry if I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
I'm such a sailor. I've always had a mouth on me. But like, for me personally, the last year has been really, really hard. And again, it's this I have to do it sometimes 30 times a day. Other times I don't have to do it at all. But it's just this remembering of like, you are not doing anything wrong. Unlearning that like somehow I'm low vibe, or somehow that, you know, from my Catholic upbringing, like, you know, if you're a good little girl and you do all the right things, that you will be rewarded something. Like sometimes life hands you shit. And that's it. There's no deeper meaning. There's no like, you know, it is there for you and how you're going to handle it, but that doesn't, like, it's not a reflection on you. So I think for me, that would have saved, if someone would have told me that years ago, I would have been like, oh, like, at least have that in the back of my head. Maybe if I didn't, I don't tend to listen to a lot of things, but I'm stubborn and I'm a Taurus, so I like to do things my way. But if I would have known earlier on that like it's okay to have bad weeks, to have bad days, bad years, and it's not necessarily a reflection of what you're doing. I know there's a lot of talk in the spiritual community of like, you create your own reality, and that can be kind of a mind F with like, okay, did I do something wrong to create this reality, to bring this into my reality? And over the last year, I have internally battled that back and forth, and I finally have gotten to a place of, no, this is part of the journey. Pausing is part of the journey. The rejections are part of the journey. The no's are part of the journey. The waiting and not knowing what's going to
Yeah.
happen is part of the journey. And it's just an invitation to trust and know that you are held and taken care of no matter what shit looks like. Because from my human perspective, even though I can channel and do all the things, I can't do that for myself for some reason, which is fun. I do have a knack for knowing, like, if I continue on this path, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But from my human perspective, I can only see, you know, like you're looking through a telescope. It's a very narrow view of my life. And I trust that divine source, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, has the bigger perspective. And I'm supposed to be trusting, even though none of it makes any sense.
Yeah.
But learning to be okay with not knowing. And forgetting and letting go of the how. How is this going to work?
That is very, yes.
When is this going to work? How is this going to work?
Okay.
I've heard loud and clear for me, like, over and over, like, if you would just stop with the, like, obsessing about the how, the when, the where, like, your only job, I've been hearing over and over, Christina, your only job is to be in the present moment.
We are on the same timeline, my friend.
The present moment, and allow joy into your life. I actually struggle big time to allow joy into my life. Like, it's a foreign concept to me. I am so programmed into chaos, into trauma, and it's actually uncomfortable for me to be in joy. So, like, in the back of my head, I always have this, like, okay, when's this gonna end? Like, I'm scared it's going to be taken from me.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, it's funny, like, because listening to your TikToks and stuff, I'm like, ooh, this is good. Because I feel like it's a compliment and, like, an opposite thing, because you're so joyful.
And it is my default setting.
And that's your default setting, and you love to be in the joy. And I'm just so enamored by that. And just like, what's that like? And then I'm over here, I feel my every feeling deeply.
Yeah.
And, like, it's gotten to a point now where it's like, okay, Christina, we don't have to feel every freaking emotion that arises to the level of, like...
Well, you're a Cancer rising, right? Same. So, like, I mean, I feel the things deeply, but, like, I just choose joy. Yeah, like, I can, and it's so annoying, but, like, I just like to be, like, I just choose joy. Like, that was, like, that's where, for me, anyways. Like,
I have
it's
to
just...
consciously, I mean, very actively, consciously choose joy. Like, I could easily spiral into, like, self-deprecation and, like, unworthiness big time.
When I say, like, I choose joy, like, no, it's like, when, like, I'm correcting myself, and, like, no, when I'm not overthinking, like, I am joy. Like, when it's just, like, oh, like, when you're just in the present moment, and that's one of the lessons that I'm currently learning, too. Like, it's literally, like, where you are is exactly where you need to be, and, like, it's about... There's so much, and it was the way that it was said to me yesterday, and I just didn't feel like translating it, but it was like, there's so much to be found in the present. Oh, it was calling all of your energy back to you, right? Like, because I'm privy to so many different timelines and so many, you know, like, so many different realms and dimensions and all of the things, like, that's where I always, like, spread my energy, and it's like, no, call it back to yourself, because when you're doing that, you're, like... I'm giving myself anxiety. I'm like, you know, like, I'm going to, like, to different frequencies, like lower frequencies than where I'm currently at, trying to figure out what the next move is and all of these things. And it's like, no, call your energy back to the present moment, because when you realize, like, you're good, like, you are where you, like, you're good in the present moment. And that is, like, when I'm in the present moment is when I am joyous. But there's so many things going on here all of the time. Like, those are the loops that I have to stop and not, you know, like, and that actually is what reminded me of the thing that you said about the, like, you don't, like, foresee the future or whatnot. Like, that's how I say it too, is, like, I'm really good with reading energy, and I can tell you, if you stay this course, this is what it's going to be. Yes. But I've also, like, there's free will, right? And it's the whole, like, but then you can just decide to take a left. And then, like, that shit all goes out the window. And, like, I've, like, known that from my life, because it was like, this was supposed to happen. This is, like, I knew, I could feel it, you know, like, I'm just have this sense of, like, knowing it's time. And then somebody somewhere decided to do something stupid and fuck me over, you know, like, but no, but yes, like, and that's where it's like, no, I can tell you. and you can see different timelines, kind of, like, and it's
Oh
just
yeah.
like, all right, well, if this happens and this and these are the ways that you could go, like, and then I feel like I'm get guided with like, this is going to give you like a good sense of like, this is a good path for you to take. But ultimately, like, if you decide to take another path, that's also going to be okay. You'll always wind up stupid, you'll always wind up exactly where you're supposed to be. Like,
Yes, I've
blah
taken
blah
a lot.
blah.
I've taken the detour route, I think.
Yeah, that's like, well, are you familiar with an unalum?
Uh-uh.
This is a Buddhist symbol, and it's for the path to enlightenment. It's like the birth and like all of the life lessons and the series of mistakes that you make that cross
Oh
and
my
wind
gosh, I
until you
love
get to
that.
enlightenment. And
I've seen that symbol. I didn't ever know what it meant.
yeah, it's the path to enlightenment and what it stands for, and it's
That
the
makes a lot of
curves
sense.
and the whole, yeah. My sister at one time said it should be bigger, Natalie. Maybe, but
Like the curvy part of mine would be like my entire arm.
right. Yeah, that is that. But yeah, no, I feel like that's the same, where it is kind of being in the present moment. Everything is
Fine in the present
there,
moment.
and all of the things, like, it is just coming back. And that is one of the questions that I would ask, is like, why have these gifts, and I can see all of these things, and I can see them, like, I've seen the most beautiful timeline in my life. Mwah, and
Me
like,
too.
and it's just where to go. Like,
I truly
mhm.
believe if we're given the information and can see that there's some version of us on a different timeline that's already experiencing that.
Yes.
Like I truly believe that. How I meet up with that version of me, to me that's just saying yes when I'm scared. And like I'll know that like I am like coming here for instance, like this is so outside my comfort zone, even though like I have this dream of starting a podcast someday. Like that's been a dream for like 7 years and I still haven't done anything about it because of being scared. And when I want to cancel something but there's no like reason to, that's like my sign of like, no, you actually have to really do this because it's going to lead you somewhere else.
Yeah.
So and hopefully that's part of that vision
Yeah.
of the
That's
timeline.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the timeline thing. Like, I really believe that we're given those visions, and like it feels real when I'm thinking about it and envisioning, what is this life that I am creating. And I know it's there. I can like taste it. I can feel it. I can like all of the things. And by an outsider's perspective, it's like, dude, you're like a million years away from that ever happening. But I truly believe in like divine intervention and things like changing in an instant.
Like I've totally experienced it to know this. So like the things like, yeah, like I've been down on my knees like praying for something, and literally everything boom 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 all in one day, and I was like, oh yeah, no, you're just letting me know how, like, okay, like, and yes, so I can, that like time, we're at an hour, but we have more to discuss, but I like privately we will discuss. I do believe in all of those things too, and I think that it's important to say, and especially in what I've experienced in the last week, is like, yes, there's these things and there's these checkpoints and but like anything can happen. And I like, so what I look at it as is aligning with, right? It's all about being in alignment and calling that one in. And there's things that you have to go through to call in that timeline, right? Like you're calling in your highest timeline where you have all of the things that you want, right? Like, and it's so like there's theories of things that you have to go through in order to be the person that can hold all of that energy, right? That but absolutely, like you can, like, that's quantum leaping into that, right? And that's like, I don't know if you know that the Schumann went down yesterday, and like that's what I was getting. Like it was very interesting. I don't know if you follow the Schumann resonance.
Oh, I do.
But
I didn't check it yesterday. I was very busy yesterday.
Yeah.
But, like something felt weird.
It was. You're correct.
I was like, something's weird today, and I didn't tap into delve deeper because I was doing all the work things. But
same. I actually posted about that right before this. I posted in the morning, like, I'm getting my spirit guides are saying, like, intense energy. I don't know quite what it is. Like, I'm guessing it's going to be bright white because that's usually what, like, my code word is and when that is. But then it went blank. But all throughout the day, I kept hearing, it's for your head, like, don't worry. Like, there's a divine plan. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. Like, and all of that, I was like, is this a timeline jump? like, but I didn't get the normal timeline jump information that I would get, like when, or like a timeline closing, right? So like I'll know when I collapse a timeline that is no longer valid for me personally, right? And that usually works collectively too.
Yes.
And then I'm like, so I was just asking, and it was just like, there's, like, what's going on, there was no answer, but just not to be worried. And I wasn't like, I was actually not worried. And normally, like, I get worried with these things because I'm like, I want to know what's next, but it was very much me being busy with work and doing my thing and doing those things. I'm curious to see what winds up unfolding for all of that. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just lost that train
The
of thought too.
energies have been intense.
It's a lot.
Like a lot.
It's a lot.
Especially for the Cancer rising.
Yes. Yes. All right. I'm going to wrap this up. Is there anything that you want to say? Anything?
I'm
Any
just truly, truly honored that you invited me to be here.
I'm so happy that you are here. Like, it's such like an honor to be in your presence and to just be like, yes, I feel like I could talk to you for hours.
I know. I'm like, I have like 1,800 other topics.
Right? Yeah.
No, thank you so much. I'm deeply, deeply honored. One of my biggest struggles, like I can say this for other people, is like to be seen, to love, and like, so thank you for doing that to me, because I don't let that happen often.
Oh, well, thank you for allowing that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, and have a beautiful day. I'm just ending it like that.